4, 3, 2, 1.
Tony and Billy, we are starting a live program. You guys, microphones have gone on. We could use you doing this program instead of whatever it is you're doing. Gossiping, it looks like.
It wasn't gossiping, Dan.
Water cooler gossiping. Mike is
little
counting.
chit-chat.
I can hear Mike counting. We're live on YouTube now. Everything's live, and Mike's going 3, 2, 1, and you guys are over there giggling about something that's clearly not related to what we're doing here, which is work.
Huh.
Oh.
I mean, there's no way of knowing for
well,
sure.
Well, tell us what it was,
about.
please, Tony.
Well, the reason why is because Billy looked at me and said, you know what? You don't know what you have until it's gone. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, look at you. And I'm like, I can't. What? Like, what do you want? He's like, your mustache, it's gone. I was like, well, I was fighting with myself in the mirror because you know when you're, Dan, this happens to you too. When you're trying to trim up your mustache and all of a sudden one side goes a little higher. So you're trying to fight the other side to try to get it equal. But then it goes to a dangerous place where you're like, it's a little Michael Jordan-y. I can't do this one. And then, you keep it moving.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. So you lost the mustache that Mike complimented you on the other day. Not a lot of people could pull off that mustache. Aggressively 70s biker. It did. I didn't think it looked good, but you carry everything with confidence, and you think everything you do looks good. So you got caught,
It
though,
does.
shaving.
I got caught. Yeah, I got caught in the middle. I was trying to, as you can see on YouTube, I got caught in the middle. Above the lips is usually where I go for my mustache. One got a little bit too high by like the canine tooth.
And so you just lost all of it.
And I was like, you know what? Let me just not even do this. Let me trim the whole thing.
Are you going to start over?
Absolutely. Billy was talking about how he wanted it back because he thinks I look better with it.
What I said, that was a very long story. What I said was I didn't like the mustache,
Wow.
and then
Oh
you got rid of the mustache, and now I long for the mustache.
He told a really long story.
Yeah. I mean,
Billy,
tighten it up here, buddy.
Tony, you have been a good soldier for a long time. I believe that Anarchist Billy has become your best friend only so he can have you close, so he can undermine you. I think I'm on to what Billy is doing, and you've fallen for it because you're a dope.
That sounds deceptive.
That does sound deceptive, but also true because Billy and I are very close outside of the show.
No. But also, I gave him a job today because sometimes you know how we look at Tony, we're like, what the hell does this guy do around here? So I gave him an official job, which I don't know if that's my place to do, but I said, you know what?
It feels like it's not.
You need to walk around this world with some purpose, kid. Here's a job. And you know what his job is? He's in charge of nicknames now.
Is that why everyone was asking me what my nicknames were?
Well, no, I gave you your nickname. It's C-Dub.
Oh.
C-Dub, I like that.
C-Dub or C-Dubs?
C-Dub.
Either work.
Okay.
Or C-Dubsky.
You want to be known as a winner, like you get W's plural,
Yeah.
even though your last name is Wilder singular?
Yeah.
There's only one Wilder.
Dan, I also like that you started this whole show with the equivalent of "Would you like to share with the class?"
Oh, but I mean, Billy does this. Look, we're running a business.
It was here.
We're running
I'm
a
a dog. What
business.
do you want me to do?
Yeah,
We're
right.
trying to run a business,
I forgot.
and Mike is saying 3, 2, 1, and Billy is so disinterested in what we're doing here that he's asking Tony about his mustache to distract him before we start the show, to make sure that Tony doesn't have a good show because Tony doesn't like it or Billy doesn't like it when others are the ones talking a lot.
Wow.
I was done before 1. I'm ready to go. I'm good at timing. I mean, I'm going to use every second. If I don't have time to catch up with Tony because we have all these other things going on. So I just saw him yesterday. I didn't see him. He wasn't here. There was lots of rain. I was worried about him. What happened if he had an accident on the way in?
You're getting the most out of every second. That's what you got to do in life.
Exactly
you know?
right. Yeah.
Well, there's something happening around here because we have so many people, and people lodge their complaints about, I never know what show we're getting. Sometimes it's Charlotte. I just want everyone to know.
Are you people?
I want everyone to know that Jessica is, for those fans, actively boycotting the show, I found out, because she's so tired of how Miami Heat talk has ruined the job, not just that she took here at Meadowlark Media, that she wants her show back and
Her show.
Her show.
Her show? What does that mean?
the show that she gave her career up to be, not like the rest of us who just happen to be around in Miami. She changed her life from New York to come down here, not to do a Heat show, not to do local sports radio.
To not talk about the NBA Finals?
Not to do local sports radio, to do a show with range in today's American times.
Sorry, we run it.
I mean, she could come if she wants to be here.
Right, yeah.
Or
There's a
someone
seat back there.
Someone
Yeah.
could beat us. Someone could beat us.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's talk about the fact, because Amin's not here right now, he's party planning. He has somehow successfully executed stealing a mixer from Meadowlark Media that takes care of some media types when they're in town. And I'm listening in a meeting before the show. Oh, be careful. You can't invite anybody or everybody, because if you do that, you'll have 7,000 people here. All of a sudden, Amin gets the party that he wants, that he's been promising, and then immediately gets scared of it and wants to make a VIP list so only 40 people can get in.
So you went straight to air with it.
Thanks, Dan.
Now we're going to get a lot of people, Dan. You know what I'm saying?
Talked about not talking about it.
Yes, that's what we discussed.
We haven't given any
That was our
information.
first mistake.
It could be a it could be a speakeasy type of
Do
party.
you
No
understand how speakeasies work?
You know,
You gotta have a secret knock.
Yeah, and the password.
password.
we haven't told anybody anything yet.
You can talk. You can talk about a speakeasy. You just can't tell people where it is, what the password is. It takes on this air of mystery.
Right. Good point,
Yeah.
C-Dub. Yeah.
Thanks, Stu.
We're not telling people the details of just Amin has successfully somehow secured a mixer. And I don't know how he did that. I got the text late at night. I thought I was running the company. I'm not. I'm being manipulated by Amin into, hey, free liquor for everybody. Dan, what do you think? And my answer is no. And then I hear, well, there's a party and at an undetermined date and time. And Dan, you're throwing it. That's how that happened.
Thanks, Dan.
Very nice of you.
It is nice of you.
We're all just like, awesome.
Charlotte wasn't even coming until she heard about the party.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
We've got an assortment of things that we're doing. Tonight, show members, Stugotz is already saying, I'm not going. He's asking everyone, do I have to go? The only question Stugotz is asked about tonight is, how do I get out of it?
Yep. Well, not how do I get out of it. Am I obligated to go? And I was told no, so I've covered my bases. I was planning on going to the game. I mean, what do you want from me?
To care.
I do care. I care enough that I'm going to the game. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't believe you'll make that drive. I believe that you will stay home and
We'll
not
see. We'll see.
work.
Can
we'll
we
see.
talk? Can we talk about the pre-show meeting where Hildy specifically told people that weren't VIPs, "Don't come, watch the game with your family."
That's
I've been
crazy.
told by 2 people don't
so
show up
crazy.
tonight. And
that's what I plan on doing.
Now I
Lewis-
want to show up.
Lewis wanted to go, and Hildy said, "Don't go."
Because it's gotten too big already, because people don't realize that if you throw a party during the finals, a lot of people are going to show up.
Yeah, this isn't a speakeasy. It's at Savage Labs in Wynwood, and members of the show will be there. Not Lewis. He's staying home at home. He's staying home.
I
He's
couldn't.
staying home at home.
Home at home.
A home and
Sorry,
home.
guys,
Yep.
Vegas,
No,
really.
I was made as uncomfortable as Mike by what happened there, which is Lewis got his head cut off. He thought he was invited to a party.
He thought he was
like,
one of us.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it
No.
was brutal. It was brutal. Tony, you and Juju somehow skated past. I don't know what Hildy just did there, but she chopped the head off of Lewis. Lewis
Chopped
thought
the head off a lot of people there.
Lewis thought he had a party that he was going to tonight.
He's gonna invite his wife,
He was
too.
just disinvited. Well, hold on. First Moss, he was supposed to take photographs, and all he did was drink all the free liquor.
That is true.
Bad judgment.
I need to be clear.
First act as an employee. Terrible judgment.
I need to be clear on your stance as it relates to me, okay? Because I don't want any resentment. I don't want you getting angry at me. I have now had 2 people who seem to be in
I
charge
always
of this
love
place.
seeing you. I always love seeing you,
Well,
Stugotz. Anything that we're doing together.
That's debatable.
We
but
have our partners from Dollar Shave Club and DraftKings in town. It would be good for you to be there.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, but not at the game or with my
Are you
family.
planning? Are you actually planning? Your family, half of your family's abroad.
No, they're back.
They're back?
Everyone's home.
So you're going to take your family to the game?
Well, I was thinking about it.
You were
yeah.
thinking about it.
Yeah. I have to secure 2 more tickets. So I mean,
Huh.
I
would like for you to be there.
at the game.
No, with us.
Oh,
At Savage Labs.
how about at home?
No, I don't want you to be at home. I want you to be with us. Come
We'll
with us.
see. Okay.
Also, I'm going to be there because I won a pickle match with my sister, my big sister, Jessica Smetana. Salute to you. I feel you wherever you are. If you can hear me, I'm sorry. But me and Jessica Smetana beat Roy and Chris Cody 11-1 in pickleball, which after further review should have been 11-0.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to be there because I lost. Yeah, exactly. He's right. But I'm going to drink, which
We lost
makes me happy.
11-0.
That's a pretty big deficit.
Did you not watch the
11-1.
video? Watch
Yeah.
the video. You can head over to our YouTube page, youtube.com/@LeBatardShow to watch all the great content. Juju, I was a huge fan of you roasting Nick Friedel.
Thanks, brother.
He didn't
Me
like
too.
that so much. I think that you should. I think as a symbolic act,
Where's the orange?
you
Goddamn.
should follow Friedel as a theme throughout the postseason. Even though you are the remainder of the postseason, even though you are a nice, kind, decent, positive person, and just roast Friedel for being fake Dan LeBatard on ESPN.
Exactly,
That
'cause
they
that's
just
where
they
it comes
replaced me
from.
with a guy who looks like me, and I don't think anyone there noticed. Like they're like, yeah, that's the fat bearded guy that wanders around, dresses poorly.
Poor Nick.
He was even playing dominoes at a tournament last year during the ECF, so I was like, hey, guy.
That right there was there's never been a shot fired across my bow by ESPN more than having Friedel replace me as a Hispanic at Domino Park when you had my father on the payroll.
Is Friedel? What's
Is he
the
even
country
Hispanic?
of origin, please? Friedel.
Friedel.
He's not Hispanic. It was so bogus. They just look.
Huh.
They rented my father's accent. They thought that they bought my voice. They kicked me out.
See, this is
I was there doing that for you. My father's the reason it wasn't a French show. Highly questionable with Dan LeBatard. Because I don't look Cuban.
We should rally against Fidel Castro.
Yes.
Yes. Juju.
Oh my God.
Juju, yes.
Oh my
It's
God.
unbelievable what ESPN has done. It's
nice.
blasphemous. It's sacrilege. Do they have Friedel again going to Domino Park to show off how Hispanic he's not?
ESPN with their Fidel Castro.
Unbelievable. It's infuriating. Speaking of which, Stugotz is not feeling good right now because Wilbon's about to come through here. I see a sign that says Michael.
Wilbon's coming through here?
Yeah.
Oh, so wait on my thank you. My thank you. Man, what's going on with me today? Vegas?
Vegas.
I drank
Yeah.
one of
Wow.
those big Eiffel Tower drinks, and
It's always the second day after Vegas.
Yeah.
It's always the
Hey.
exactly.
How much did that drink cost?
Less than a cocktail at the Golden Knights Arena. I had a $45 cocktail at the Golden Knights Arena, at T-Mobile Arena.
What was in it?
Just a double
Gold?
shot. No, just a double shot of Jameson.
What?
A double shot of Jameson with tip, $45.
J-Mo.
I've gotten so used to absurd prices in South Florida for drinks that I had a bargain last night. Like I bought like 6 drinks for like $24. Unfortunately, I was at the hospital.
What?
You okay?
Is everything good?
Two, one.
I realized my error at the end of the last segment, one of the dangers of doing all of this live, that I made it sound like I was having drinks at a bar at a hospital, which is a great idea, by the way. They absolutely need to do that. Someone needs to do that. I just went to a coffee shop and bought a bunch of big bottles of water and green juices and stuff, and I bought like 6 of them and was stunned that the price was $24 because I'm so used to now paying $9 for everything.
Wait, you thought that was a good deal?
It's a good deal, Dan.
It was super cheap. Whatever it was.
$4 a bottle of water is not cheap, bub.
They were big bottles.
Yeah, it depends what size. If it's a liter bottle,
Green juices. I
You
love
get a
that.
gallon of water for $1.
I want to talk about what it is, Stugotz, that we're headed into tonight because I'm confused by the ratings.
Right.
The ratings have been good, but everyone can lie about the ratings now because it's harder to quantify some of this stuff than it's ever been. And everyone always tells you, here's what our ratings were if you count YouTube and streaming and however they're making up the numbers. We've assumed this was going to be a bad numbers finals. It hasn't been in South Florida. In South Florida, what's the number? It's like 15% of all households. It's a giant number. That's like Bills Dolphins. 15% of all households are watching the Miami Heat.
That's Bills-Dolphins regular season, you're
No,
saying.
that's the playoff game.
Okay. All right.
Like, that's as big as sports gets down here, is that kind of number locally where the televisions are tuned in. And part of the reason for this is because this is really it is the greatest thing, Stugotz, the underdog surprise story, the team that you had given up on. If Miami's a bandwagon town, both of the local teams are that right now. But it's not just that. And I want to explore something with the group about Jokic, because I was shocked by Stugotz's and Greg Cody's viewpoint that Jokic is not a pleasure to watch, that he's just sort of, you're watching basketball, and I don't think they're alone in this opinion, by the way. I do not. I believe that people think that there's a certain joylessness to his game. Like, you can enjoy the artistry, but he doesn't look like he's enjoying what he's doing, and he's moving through your defense like an ocean liner. It's not grace and ballet in the sky. It's that guy's too big for everybody. Nobody can do anything against that. He sees more of the court than everyone else because he's larger than everyone else. Slow moving. He's not dunking. He's taken the joy out of the game by being so surgical about it. So they're not alone in this opinion. But God, do I think they're wrong. So the visuals, though,
it's an opinion, though.
I know, but the narrative, if you are just in storylines, hey, sports, make me feel something because it's about the stories. What's better than the undrafted guys going after the Giant? The Giant who's the MVP, they can't beat him. He's the best. Why is he the best? Look at him.
He's also the best, though, because he plays like he looks like he's hungover, and he plays like he's doing wind sprints at a JV practice, and then it's magic. So I don't know how you could not love watching someone who you could ostensibly be, but you will never be because he is actually out of this world. It's like a mind trick. It's like one of those magic eye things where you have to like blur your eyes and you're like, oh, wait, he's actually incredible.
C-Dub, I'm not saying I don't like him, okay? I'm not saying he's not the best player in the NBA. I'm not saying he's a once-in-a-lifetime talent. I am saying that people always say the best athletes in any sport, okay, across sports, are the people who play in the NBA. And the NBA does not want that guy being their best player. That's all. They want a guy like LeBron, Kobe, Michael Jordan, who slices through defenses, who can dunk, who gets in the air, who does it the way that we're accustomed to watching the best player in the NBA play. We are not accustomed to watching Nikola Jokic be the best player in the NBA because this guy is never the best player in the NBA. He's not.
Except now when he is. But the thing that I think...
I don't have to enjoy it.
You don't.
Thank you.
What I like about it is that it's indifferent. He's like, oh, okay, like we're going to play basketball today? All right, sure. Here's a one-handed pass this way, one behind my back. I'm going to score 45. And it doesn't really matter to him. Like, he doesn't talk to the team. He doesn't address anybody. He's just like, I'm here to play basketball. I don't really care.
This is one of the things, Stugotz, that I'd like to address because the globalization of the sport is meant to make international players... Man, the NBA is going to end up taking Saudi money. Like, now this door is going to open totally. How surprised would you be if NBA teams started selling to Saudi money? Like, the money's going to keep getting whitewashed. I'm assuming there will be a fifth major in Saudi Arabia. That's what I'm assuming. We're going to end up keep going until it all blurs together and you're just taking the oil money and ruining sports and ruining Earth and no one's going to care because whatever. We need money to fuel the whole stupid thing. But in the middle of that, you got a player who's foreign who, if he were American, good God, would he be a star? Good God. Same personality. Same exact personality. Holy shit, with that. A white dude's dominating the NBA? Yeah, but it's a white dude, but we don't understand or know him. Where does he come from? Oh, shit. What's his past? What? His brothers? What? What is all that? All that is rugged beyond all of your belief, here to get the money, dominating the sport with an assortment of survival skills that make him someone who feel like he's joylessly tearing apart your league because he can with his armpits. I want to sell Michael Jordan. I want style and grace and fashion. What am I to do with this person who annihilates everyone and doesn't seem to be even enjoying it? Because God knows what he's seen.
It's very Eastern European of him.
You're making him out to be Rambo. I mean,
He is! You guys are telling me. You know what? Rambo could not pull this one off. He's Magic and Bird, and America hates him. What? Go ahead, Rambo. Pull that one off. Like, you're ruining the game? No. Like, you think Stugotz is
I didn't say he was ruining the game. I'm just saying the NBA would prefer anyone else to the NBA Finals.
You're saying he's boring. I'm saying you want a story that's better than war-torn country.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they want someone from Villanova or Duke to really swoop in.
Can you imagine Jokic has graduated from Duke as the white guy? Or he played a season at Duke. And now is dominating the NBA with this game. I mean, Stugotz and Cody would be turning him into the most blasphemous of things, something beyond Michael Jordan.
If he just spent a season at Duke?
Yes.
Or Carolina?
And we're American. Needs to also be American.
American would help. I mean.
Yeah, because the xenophobia is sort of baked into everything. Honestly. What are we doing with Jokic that Cody and Stugotz can publicly come by that opinion without apology? That Jokic is no fun to watch.
He's not fun to watch. I'm sorry.
Stop
he's
it, Stu.
just
Come on.
Tony, you've been watching basketball for a long time.
I love watching Jokic.
What are you trying to do?
I'm just
You're not
saying
gonna
he's
convince
not
me on this
aesthetically pleasing to watch. His game is not aesthetically pleasing to watch. That's all I'm saying. There are moments, there are times he does things, and you are sitting there going, "Oh my God, how'd he do that?" But he can't jump. He can't really dunk. He doesn't dunk. I mean, I don't want to hear about it.
There are moments that you say, "Oh my God,
you
how did he do that?" But he's not aesthetically pleasing.
Listen, it might be aesthetically pleasing to you guys. It's not to me, and it's not to Greg Cody, and it's not to many, many other people who are watching the NBA Finals. They don't want to see his game. It's a garbage game. That's what it is.
Oh my God!
Oh,
Wow,
Oh,
trash.
Stu-
Oh, wow.
Oh my God!
Stu, I thought you of all people would appreciate
Garbage.
how he gallops and just sort of he shows up and
I don't want to watch myself play basketball.
Oh, okay.
I want to see
All right.
someone better than me
Okay.
play basketball. That's all I'm saying. Like someone who could jump, could do a windmill dunk, no look passes, Hey, he's done those, I know, but it looks awkward, Hey, he didn't go to Duke, or Carolina. Hey, congratulations on being a giant. I mean, he has an advantage. He's taller than everyone else.
I want all of us as a show.
Do it at 5'8".
As a show, I want us to genuflect. As an audience, I want us to stop and genuflect because this is an interesting time in sports coverage, okay? Stephen A. says, Shannon Sharp, you can be part of an ensemble on First Take, but you can't be the guy. I'm the guy, and we're going to ensemble it on First Take. Undisputed has an opening. There are very few jobs now available, very few in this space, and everyone's up for it. Nick Wright and everyone at Fox is up for what is a very good job, and again, very few of them in the industry. We just witnessed, with all of the money in content and sports these days, $17 million a year for McAfee. Stugotz just took the take where it's never been taken. Jokic, garbage game, plays like me.
I'm auditioning.
Plays like me. I don't want a guy. Stugotz thinks at 5'8" that he would be doing that on the court.
No, I think what he's saying is if he was his height, he'd be doing
I'd be
that.
able to do that.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Yeah, just bowl through everyone and just, put a garbage basket in because I'm taller than everyone else.
What he's saying is if Jokic was his size, obviously, he wouldn't be as impressive.
Yeah.
You think he makes garbage baskets?
What made Spud Webb winning the dunk contest so impressive? That he's Spud Webb.
Have you gone back and seen that dunk
Make
contest?
Spud
Stu?
Webb 7'2" and see how impressive
He
it
just
is.
did a two-handed dunk.
Right.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he. So you agree with Stugotz then?
It sounds like you do.
You don't have to see this take through. I'm telling you.
To
You
see
really
it through, he's doubled down.
You don't
he
have
called
to.
it a garbage
You don't
game.
have to.
It's
You
legitimately.
can just say I had that one wrong.
The garbage man. I mean,
Oh no!
The
would be a better
arm-bleeding
nickname.
garbage man is the character.
a great nickname
It's
for
the
him.
horror.
The arm-bleeding
Incredible
garbage.
nickname.
The arm-bleeding garbage man is what the NBA needs to market there. This is the new star of our game. We've moved away from guns on the gram into our new brand, Jokic, the arm-bleeding garbage man with his garbage game, destroys the NBA, holds up the trophy, tramples like a cement mixer. Poor Gabe Vincent. What's Gabe doing trying to guard him in the post? Why is that happening?
he's getting outplayed by Bam. I mean,
Garbage game. Stugotz is auditioning, Skip.
Yeah, I think we're cooking. So let's just. Four, three, two, one.
I'm a little worried about Stugotz in general, not just because he insists on doubling down on the worst and best take I've ever heard.
thank you.
Also, Stugotz a little bit rattled, I would say. Uncomfortable, maybe. Rattled is makes it sound like he ever loses confidence. He does not. But he does seem to be bothered by Mike Wilbon's coming through here. There is a sign that says Mike Wilbon is not to sit in Stugotz's seat.
Yeah.
And he was mad at me because he comes in here today and he said something that caught me off guard. Smells like Mike Breen in here.
Sure does. I know that scent anywhere. I mean,
Describe it.
he smells great. I mean, woo, it smells good in here. It smells like the lead voice of the NBA. It does. I mean, Mike Breen looks like he smells good, right? And I can still smell the cologne in my seat right now.
What's his cologne called? Bang?
Yeah.
Well, was he there, or does it just smell like him?
It just smells like Breen in here. I mean,
No, he was here. Of course, Stugotz has a bit of a hound dog smell when it comes to
I
this.
knew it.
Breen was here yesterday, and
I don't want Wilbon in my seat. I know he's coming through here. I think he's coming through here tomorrow. I am telling you right now, Dan, we don't have a good history. Wilbon, for whatever reason, and I respect Michael, and I have enjoyed Michael's work over time, okay? I think he's great. He jumped the shark a bit when, you know, the journalist wore a Chicago Cubs jersey while covering the World Series for ESPN, but we digress.
tucked it into his pants to throw a first pitch as
Jeans,
well.
high-waisted
Bad
jeans.
looks.
Yeah, bad
Not
look
good.
for a journalist.
Old man.
Yep. But Wilbon has never been nice to me, doesn't like me, doesn't respect me, doesn't like the fact that he and I landed at the same place and he didn't feel like I was qualified.
You didn't land at the same place.
Well, I mean, we landed at the same company, okay? That's all I'm saying. Not the same place. That's fair. But here's the real thing, okay? I went and, you know, Lorenzo, who was one of our old TV producers here, when I went to D.C. to call the Final Four, I want to say 2019, I did Around the Horn. And then Lorenzo was nice enough to take me downstairs to the PTI studios, and I sat in Wilbon's chair. And word got back to me that Wilbon was very upset about that. Did not want me sitting in his chair, okay? Forget about the fact that Northwestern, where Michael went to school, just won a national championship women's lacrosse. Michael did not feel the need to reach out to me and congratulate me, even though I know he supports that team, okay? Same with you, Greeny, by the way. Not that I'm keeping track, but I thought Greeny was a friend. Wilbon, I knew he wasn't. Therefore, Wilbon did not want me sitting in his seat. And you know what? This is my seat. And so when Michael comes through here, he does not sit in my seat, Dan. You do not let him sit in my seat. I have a sign, okay? And I will put it on the seat, but you need to enforce it because I won't be here.
It's
Hold
spelled
that sign at the
wrong.
camera.
It's spelled wrong. You spelled Wilbon wrong. Michael Wilbon will not sit in that seat.
It's unfortunate.
How did he spell seat?
Did you do that on purpose?
S-E-E-T?
No, C-dubs.
I'm with Stugotz. Wilbon can't sit in that seat.
Thank you.
He can't. We got to defend our boy.
Dan, you got to pick a side here, honestly.
You're playing both sides.
Well, we'll keep it in the air, the pettiness in the air, and at some point I will pick a side because I'm guessing that's where video would put him because that's where all the people who come in here sit in Stugotz's seat.
I come up with a plan B video.
He's not the only person that has beef with Wilbon. I have beef with Wilbon because of his beef with Stugotz, and also I took care of Michael Wilbon at Chelsea. I gave him a great tour. He got to meet Christian Pulisic. That was all me that got that done. Nary a thank you.
Wow.
Nothing. Nothing.
Entitled.
But it is entirely possible that Charlie Hume just took credit for all of it.
I mean, sometimes you just do nice things to do nice things, right?
No, who does that? I did it for the
I was
thank
gonna
you.
say,
Well said, Mike.
Men are so emotional. My goodness, you need thank yous, you need credit.
It's just, Michael Wilbon by himself didn't have enough cachet to get that done. I had to help up. I stepped up to the plate. I helped the guy out, even though he was beefing with Stugotz. No, thank you.
C-Dub, you don't find it petty that he got mad? Now, he doesn't know that I know, but I know that he got mad that I sat in his PTI seat. He got mad at me.
No, definitely petty.
Okay.
I'm with
Thank
you.
you.
I'm with you, Stu. What the most insulting thing I think would be if you put the sign on your chair and he sat on the sign.
He will not. Michael Wilbon is the
Right.
one who's prohibited
Gotta fix
from.
that.
Yes, you
Do you
need
like
to
that he
fix
calls you
that.
Danny? I also don't like that.
I love that. That's
Condescending.
actually a point in my book for Wilbon because he's the
What
only
else is
one.
in this book?
It's him calling you Danny. I'll get back to
Don't
you.
go to him on the fly.
Yeah.
See, this is not Billy. This is not supportive.
How so?
Don't go to him on the fly.
He's trying to help you out.
I'm trying to help everybody out here.
We're live.
Well, not my decision.
You're not supposed to show people the innards of the show. Don't go to him on the spot.
Dan can only go to him on the fly when we're live.
You
Send
can
him
tell
out.
me that privately.
Dan, kick him out of here, man.
I'm trying to help you here.
How is that helpful?
I'm trying to keep the show moving. We'd still be
All
here.
right, keep it moving.
Look, we
by
bought
you
him.
Keep it moving. Get
Oh,
out of here.
wow.
2 minutes penalty block.
We bought all this time. He still doesn't have anything in his book.
Be a supportive teammate. He's holding you back, Tony.
I'm trying to tell you, Dan.
He's intent on holding you back. Look at him storming off here. He is not your friend, Tony. He's tricking you into thinking that so that he can undermine you at every turn.
What is he doing?
He's coming here.
Oh, he wants to go to
Space
Mars.
Helmet to go to Mars. Stars on Mars.
How does he always win?
He got jealous of Chris Cody being able to float around with his dad on Mars on the bleeping green screen. So now he's going to go do comedy over there. He's going to show you how it's done when you go to him on the fly. What an asshole.
There's a meeting on Mars, apparently.
No.
Oh, yeah, we can.
No,
man.
who is in there? No, I'm so tired of video getting in the way of what we're doing live now.
Well, that's not video. That's admin.
All right, kick everyone out.
What? Our guests? We can't kick everybody out.
the
Can't
guest.
do that,
We're
Sam.
doing show.
Unless it's Weebon.
We are.
Can you go in during the meeting and just do the green screen and the meeting goes
Yes,
on around
door's
you on
locked.
Mars?
It's locked.
Knock
Well,
on the
They
door.
have a key outside.
Knock on the door. We need. Man, this isn't admin's building. The show needs to be done first.
I mean, it is kind of admin's building. They signed off on the deals.
What if Billy puts the visor of the helmet down? Then it's like he's in another room.
Billy, go ahead. Get in the room. You've got 5 minutes. We're on live television. I want the video room to execute something other than Lewis being banned from our party tonight.
That was so mean.
It's
Oh,
still
man.
sad.
Is that the
Yeah.
meeting that they're having in there to try and decide who gets to be in VIP? The 7 people who are going to be allowed in VIP, not Lewis?
I know who won't be allowed in the VIP. Roy Bellamy and Christopher Cody because they lost 11-0. Back to you, Danny.
Stunning that you would lose that poorly. You had the alleged best athlete on the show in Chris Cody. And Roy and you lost to Juju and Jessica. You couldn't.
Alleged.
Well, I don't know my own strength there, Dan. It's not like it's a tennis court. It's a smaller
different
court
game.
it's different
Roy
game,
was
so
playing a
yeah.
different sport altogether. He was playing tennis while everybody else was playing pickleball. And Dan, I've never played pickleball. I was on the sidelines just in case anybody got hurt. I was there to fill in. Roy was taking hacks that hit the back wall like consistently, and I was like, I don't think that's how you play.
It's a game of touch. Yeah.
Yeah, I was getting base hits out there, man. It's laser show.
Put it on the poll, please, at LeBatardShow, Juju. Can you describe your sports performance as a laser show when you've lost 11-0?
Yeah.
No.
Just really inaccurate lasers.
I mean,
Yeah.
just ridiculous that your game plan in pickleball would be, let me see how I could not get a prize of VIP by just sending rockets here and not competing, because I just want to show people that I once hit a batting practice home run at Marlins Park.
Well, listen, Dan, like I tried using touch and it didn't reach the net. So I tried hitting it normally. It went past the court. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not a pickleball guy.
Mm-hmm. Regardless, 11-0 was the score. You should be embarrassed by that.
I am.
You should be embarrassed by the way your hockey team has played through first two games. Mike, don't
I
make
am.
a face at me. You can't look, man.
Very proud of our
these
hockey
games
team.
are close. The hockey this time of year,
Game 1 was
it's
anybody's game.
all about the last 4 periods. That's fine. You could the last time you
Game
felt
2
good
was
was,
not
shouting.
Game 2 was their game.
It was most certainly their game.
Game 1 for 2 periods. You haven't felt better at any point.
When
not beating
Duclair-
Boston.
when
not beating
Duclair
Boston.
equalized,
When,
oh.
at the end of the second period, Vegas goes silent. You go
feeling
in.
good.
You go into the third period in a silent Vegas. Oh, how'd that happen? Duclair has tied the game, and then you don't have the hot goalie anymore.
No, Aiden Hill is why does the NHL do this deal with the salary cap where they have salary cap rules, but during the playoffs there's no salary cap? Because Vegas, just like Tampa Bay before them, is about $10 million over the salary cap, and their depth is absolutely crushing Florida right now. You see that fourth line. Biz called it perhaps the greatest fourth line in the NHL right now. It's hard to argue.
They started it one playoff game, the
Florida,
fourth line. Yeah.
Florida's defense, in terms of individual defenders, they're barely NHL level. They're entire. These are not my words. These are experts. I'm not going to call Gustav Forsling a subpar defender. He battles.
They're grinders. They're in the sport where we talk to Moeller.
Yeah, but they don't grind enough to actually limit shots. For Florida to get as far as they did, they needed exactly what they got from Sergei Bobrovsky, which surprised everyone. There wasn't anyone by the time year 3 on Sergei Bobrovsky came around down here in Florida, despite his 2-time Vezina trophy winning resume. No one thought Bobrovsky had that in him anymore, and he did it to the tune of saving 19 goals over expected. In a 4-game series, it's absolutely bonkers, okay? We allow too many shots. If Sergei's not going to stop 90% of them, they're toast. He needs to find his form. Because if you're getting out-goalied, you are not winning a series. We have found that out with Florida over these last 3 years. And they're going to need to find something. They're going to need to get in front of the goal. We've been screening our own goalie. We got to screen theirs. They got to do what brought them to the race, and that's just annoy them. And hopefully, if while we're annoying them and we get cross-checked into the net and then slashed by the goalie, they'll call a penalty.
What a terrible game plan to go into a series.
It's playoff hockey.
Well, but you're not just overmatched.
That's playoff hockey.
You're not.
You want to win playoff hockey, you get in front of the net, and you make a damn goal happen out of nowhere.
Yep.
Well, they're not even getting shots in the middle.
We're not putting the puck in deep. We're not playing Panther hockey.
Sounds like the Panthers need to find $10 million more.
It's so easy.
Oh, by the way, Lionel Messi's coming.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
To the Panthers?
Is he? The news is broken? Has the news?
Plenty of reputable outlets in Argentina are reporting this is so. And
Messi's coming to Miami?
It would appear that I was right all along.
Borat the Insider.
My wife 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Tony is laughing uproariously. Our timing is again bad on David Samson, even though the business of sports, good God, do we need some help understanding the business of sports today? Because 2 monster moves in the last couple of days. One is Live Golf somehow getting the outrage of everybody as Phil Mickelson wins all the money and Tiger Woods. Hey, congratulations, Tiger Woods, for having principle. Cost you $1 billion. You've got principal PLE. Mickelson got principal PAL.
Man, we got to do an entire segment just on Tiger finding out day of.
Oh,
I mean, literally the only guy that was bigger than the tour in his heyday. Let me tell you something. If Tiger Woods decided to break off and create his own tour, he does not have trouble finding a television deal. Unreal.
This is unbelievable for a lot of reasons, and it's money winning, greed winning. Rarely this overtly, rarely this brazenly. But yes, Tiger Woods could have, Stugotz, if he didn't respect the traditions of the Masters. Black guy with no voice on anything, living at the country club, makes all his money, and then at the end, Greg Norman and Mickelson steal it because they're like, woo, oil money. We'll get to that in a second. Big victory for greed yesterday. But
finally,
Mike Ryan is taking a victory lap right here. Tony, how would you describe what Mike Ryan has been doing here as the international reporter, the only one who had everything on the biggest athlete in the world correct, that Messi is coming to Miami? This shit's crazy.
If you're not watching on YouTube, he's got a Messi shirt on, and he's been showing it kind of like somebody would a jersey when they're in front of a camera. And he's got his tongue out. He's doing like this kind of thing where he puts his finger on his elbow when he hits a 3, that kind of thing.
Give me my flowers. Right the whole damn time.
Didn't you say that you weren't saying he was coming here? That just it's.
I didn't want to give a prediction. But my reporting the entire time was accurate. While people were saying he was re-signing with PSG, while people were saying Barca, while people were saying it was done and dusted that he was going to Saudi, I remain firm that Inter Miami's contact with Lionel Messi's camp was regular and conversations were deep, deal points were talked out, and that Inter Miami, while dismissed by all of legacy media and all the best insiders that got this story completely wrong, were in this, were a serious threat, were finalists for Lionel Messi, and this was going to be the week. Don't doubt me. We got him. We got him.
To be honest, this is a bigger day for Mike Ryan than it is for Messi.
Zagaki.
It's a sad day for Messi, probably.
This is Mike's number one day here.
You can't spell fabrication without fab.
Oh, he's going after the Woj of international soccer.
Well, the Woj of international soccer said he was re-signing with PSG back in December. But I knew things.
Anybody who's been listening to this show knows that Mike has been right about everything when it comes to the reporting of that story. We'll get more information on why he made that decision. But, David, why are you shaking your head? Because he's eaten up 3 minutes of your time? What used to
Sorry, David, but this news just broke by plenty of reputable reporters, so it's time. I'm sorry. It's the greatest soccer player of all time choosing South Florida. I apologize, David. Floor is yours.
Samson is supposed to be here on Thursdays. He's not because there's a Game 3.
But you have David upset that Mike took up too much of his time?
Well, Samson's down to like 9 minutes now in this segment when it used to be an hour on Thursdays. Why were you shaking your head no?
I'm shaking my head because my quads hurt, because I've been sitting up at attention because I'm too short for the live show since I was told to be here at 9:30. That's why I'm shaking my head.
Okay, so we've kept you waiting 15 minutes on what is now a reduced segment.
At attention, no less. And it also should be noted that it's not Inter Miami who's getting Messi, it's MLS. So while I do give Mike credit for saying that Inter Miami is involved, they're like the conduit for the deal that's happening. And it's not MLS, it's not Miami doing the negotiating, it's MLS, because the only chance he has of coming here is if he gets a piece of the Apple deal and gets a piece of the Adidas deal of those sponsorships. This is a league deal, and they're placing him in a market where they need to make sure that they've got stars in order to get the building built, which I assume they've broken ground and it's opening, I guess, in a year or two. I've not been down to Mel Reese recently.
I have. It looks overgrown like a jungle. It's actually pretty creepy.
Have they not started construction at all?
No. As I understand it, their lease doesn't begin until they start construction. So they've actually saved money against this. And keep in mind, the valuation of the club goes up the second shovels go into dirt. So maybe they're holding off. So Messi, when he agrees to this deal formally and the deal points come out that he has equity in the club, can actually get more initially because the value of this club is about to skyrocket. I will push back on the notion that this is a league deal and not an Inter Miami deal. Inter Miami was the team that has been negotiating with Messi's camp for years. Inter Miami's ownership was the people taking direct face-to-face meetings with Messi's camp. Apple and Adidas came into this very recently. And the league is doing credit to MLS. They are doing whatever they can to help this deal go through, and they're leveraging their partners. But to say that this is a league deal takes credit away from the Moss family and Inter Miami for getting this done.
The Moss family couldn't get the deal done, not because they don't have the money or not because they're not liquid enough.
David, the Moss family just got the deal done. The Moss family just got the deal done. They could not offer
what was needed to even potentially be in the conversation to get Messi. They don't have the ability to offer a piece of the Apple deal. It has to be the league.
You're mistaken. And the Saudi money late in the game did change the dynamics of the deal and allowed for the league partners to step up to the plate and make this a more robust offer on an annual value basis. But Messi choosing Miami isn't necessarily for dollars. When you have Saudi Arabia coming in offering you essentially $1 billion a year, that is really difficult to say no to. So in a last bit of leveraging, MLS and its league partners had to sweeten the pot to get this deal done. 100%
and are you sure he's
accurate.
getting equity in Miami, or is he going to get the chance, the way Beckham did, to get into an expansion team at a lowered valuation?
He is absolutely getting a percentage of the club. He is 100% getting a percentage of the club. Will this be a launch pad for him to have additional opportunities? I've heard that. I haven't had that directly confirmed by my sources. I've heard that actually from MLS sources. I've heard from MLS sources that he had conversations additionally with a group that was trying to put together a club in Las Vegas. But make no mistake about it. This was Inter Miami's deal, wire to wire. MLS may have gotten in the game late, but the conversations were always going through the Moss family.
David, though, I understand what it is that you're saying, right? Because what has just happened with the Moss family is the guy who's a gas bag who sat next to Jeffrey Lurie at an all-star game, and when it came time to buy the Marlins, didn't actually have the money, has now negotiated in a place where it's very hard to come by land, a sweet, sweet land deal contingent upon building something near the airport that will have to be built quickly by Miami. Good luck with that. Built well by Miami. Good luck with that.
Keep in mind, they built the stadium in Fort Lauderdale very quickly.
But this was a giant swing.
And you can tell.
But this was a giant swing to bring the biggest athlete in sports at the height of his leverage and power to make American soccer work, because Messi in Miami, he doesn't have anything else to prove in international soccer. He can start building his brand post-retirement like Brady and LeBron, because he's going to have equity, because he's just used all his power to make MLS matter more than it has.
And to Dan's
Messi's
point,
already bigger than LeBron.
Not here in the States. This was the final frontier. And what Dan is saying was a huge part of this. When Messi lifted that cup over the winter, the game changed. And Inter Miami's chances only increased from there because Messi had nothing else to prove. It was all legacy plays. He had nothing else to prove in Europe. If you want to take pot shots that he wasn't able to push PSG over that final hump and get Champions League, fine. But he was the best player in the world during his most important time, a legacy-defining competition.
Perfect way to retire is here with what is left of his brand management, David.
Yeah.
It's just a monster move.
His family wanted to be here. He's going to be a mogul in the United States, and we'll see if MLS's gamble and Apple's gamble will pay off. So far, it has not. I have very strong opinions about putting the entire sport behind a paywall. I think it was counterintuitive to the growth of this sport. But now, whenever you get Apple TV ads, instead of Ted Lasso's face, you're going to see Lionel Messi's, and that is a major, major coup. And I am so sorry to eat into your time because I know we've been yo-yoing you around, and I do want to talk Live PGA. We'll bring you back for the next segment. This news just so happened to finally break during your segment, and I apologize for that. But I don't want you to dismiss Inter Miami and Moss family from what just happened here, because they got the stadium, they saved the team, and they saved Messi. They got Messi. So I understand taking all the shots, and I know that they didn't have the capital to do anything other than just be a stalking horse for a potential owner. But they got this done.
Yeah, don't misunderstand what I'm saying. Having Messi in Miami is huge for MLS. I'm merely saying that what got him over the finish line was not Miami or Moss or his branding or any of it. It was still money. They had to come up with an offer that had to include upside from Apple and Adidas, or else it wasn't going to happen. That was my only point.
We don't have time in this segment to get into all of the layers of what happened with Liv. So stay there, David. We will come back with you and talk about everything that's happening.
His quads,
there.
though, I mean.
Yes, his quads. Please.
I'm going to slouch for a few minutes if you don't mind.
You should, yes.
But just before we get to it, I just want to know your general feeling as someone who does a podcast called Nothing Personal, as someone who is brazenly and obnoxiously always telling us corporate greed and business win always. Don't romanticize sports. Don't be a fool. Have you ever seen anything as brazen as what it is the PGA and Liv did yesterday? And this is speaking to somebody who stole the Expos from Canada and put them in Florida.
No, I didn't. The answer is yes. What was brazen about yesterday is how badly Jay Monahan did this. The PR, the not communicating with his players, the not getting buy-in, all of those things were part of the problem, and it's going to cost him his job. It took me about 22 minutes on Nothing Personal this morning to go through this deal and to come to the conclusion with an official wait to see. Jay Monahan's finished. Bungled it worse than I've ever seen a CEO or a commissioner do with any deal ever. And this is with Rob Manfred taking phantom golf swings during a lockout.
Love you, David.
I sense in the room something that feels like tension.
What do you mean?
Mike Ryan is as happy as I've ever seen him. And it doesn't appear to me that the room is happy for him.
I'm ecstatic for him. That's my brother. Michael,
Schadenfreude.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I don't have to talk the rest of the show.
Yeah, I'm happy for him. I'm more worried about the Panthers, though.
I'm trying to figure out how me and Stu can get season tickets now that Messi's.
Exactly.
Should have listened to me before the season, bub.
Well,
I'm happy
no.
that I don't work for the Marlins anymore, because this is just another reason to put them lower and lower in the news cycle in Miami.
they have a pretty good baseball team, Dave. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And no one cares. And now with Messi coming to Miami, that's it. It's done. If they even get the stadium built down near the Miami airport. That's it for Marlins Park. That's it for the Marlins. Arias would have to hit 400 for the season, and it would still not get the column inches as if Messi scores an equalizer in a regular season MLS game.
I don't believe we are measuring things in column inches anymore, newspaper man. I don't believe that these are the newspaper wars. I do believe, though, that if you thought Mike Ryan was obnoxious before, we have now reached the bub stage of the arrogance, where he's referring to others as bub because he got this so internationally right. And the credible Stugotz, he kicked the ass of the Wojs of the world. Like, the international reporters are bigger than combined Schefter and Woj's followings. Bigger, because this is the biggest athlete in the world. And somehow this show has had all the correct news. This is going to fall out of the sky on people. People are going to be stunned that Messi just chose Miami.
I have some more reporting to do, and I'll give more details. We've eaten up enough of David Samson's time. I am fascinated by the Liv story. I am fascinated by the spot that they put their biggest stars, that put themselves on an island, and actually, in many respects, for some, taking a principled stand for the first time ever publicly. Going into the political realm for the first time ever publicly. And they found out day of. I cannot imagine what Tiger Woods was thinking when the news came across his desk. I can't imagine what Rory was thinking and how embarrassed he must have felt.
Tiger was probably thinking, how are you going to make up the $800 million that I turned down, and perhaps I'll replace you when they fire you as commissioner of the PGA Tour. That's probably what Tiger was
David,
thinking.
condense what you did on Nothing Personal for us here, because there's so many layers to this. The floor's yours. Take all the interesting parts of this and tell us what you think.
So the reason this merger happened is PGA decided that they needed financing. And so to boil it down, this is a really big sponsorship deal. And they decided to take Saudi money into PGA, who become the biggest investor in what they're calling a new company. The PGA Tour and LIV are merging to form a new company where Jay Monahan, or whoever the commissioner of PGA Tour, is reporting to the head of the investment fund, who also runs an oil company and sits on boards and all sorts of other nefarious things. He's now in charge of golf. But PGA says, we've got more seats. We get to still play by our rules and have our schedule. What they're not telling you is that all of the prize money that will go to Rory McIlroy or Tiger Woods or whoever wins the tournaments is coming in from Saudi Arabia. What happens if the broadcasters walk away or the sponsors walk away? PGA Tour is saying, no problem, we'll go on CW because we're getting so much money from Saudi Arabia. No problem. NBC, ESPN, all the other networks, they'll stay with us because now we have everybody together again. Kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya. Except they forgot to talk to the employees. And I'm the first one to tell you, you don't need to involve all employees in big decisions that are being made strategically for your company. However, in golf, it's different because the commissioner is not owned by owners or appointed by owners. It's actually the player's job. He's there to represent the players, and he chose not to. I don't care that Greg Norman didn't know anything. He was a figurehead, overpaid, doesn't know anything about anything. No problem. But to not go to your biggest stakeholders in the game is the biggest mistake I've ever seen in a sports business transaction. The merger makes sense because Saudi Arabian money is coming to America, Eddie Murphy style. It's coming to the NBA, it's going to come to MLB, and it's not going to be long before you've got ownership of North American teams by Saudi Arabian money and funds. But that said, the clumsiness in this deal is like nothing I've ever seen.
The public golf fans want players to boycott. Players are upset. They want the commissioner fired. Some players have suggested they might boycott. Like, David, how does this get fixed? Is there a way that this gets fixed over time?
You can boycott until you've got a payment to make. So it takes money to be rich. And the reason why rich people want to get richer is because they have a lifestyle that needs to be funded. And you can say that Tiger Woods can start his own tour. He can't. The amount of billions of dollars that are being put in by Saudi Arabia into the LIV Tour is something Tiger Woods could never do. Josh Harris is one of our biggest billionaires, right? And he's putting together a group to buy the Commanders. And the reason it hasn't been approved is he's cobbling together money, figuring it all out, and waiting for NFL approval. Saudi Arabia can come in and write a check, Steve Ballmer style, but even bigger. And so one of the things I said in Nothing Personal that the live chat got upset about, but picture this scenario. What if Saudi Arabia came to the 32 NFL owners and said, we want to offer about $1 to $2 trillion, and we want to buy every team, and we're going to value teams at a minimum of $25 billion, and Jerry Jones, we're giving you $100 billion for your team? Do you not see a scenario where Saudi Arabia could take over leagues, not just teams and players? This is happening. This level of sports washing is real, and this is dipping their toe in the water with LIV and now merging with PGA.
This is one of the reasons, David, that this is so offensive, okay? Because, of course, even Tiger Woods gets trampled by this cement mixer, this greed, this blood money, as we all wonder, well, everybody's taking money, right? But Bally's, regional networks in baseball go defunct, and these leagues need DraftKings, need FanDuel, and now need more. Where are the oil wells? Let's go find the literal oil wells. Let's go find people who might bonesaw a journalist, but numbers on dollars don't mean anything to them. They just bought golf, and they bought golf as a starting point. This is what I ask you about the transaction of it, David, because this part's confusing. LIV wasn't working, even though it was costing billions of dollars. But holy shit, what a good investment if you could just buy golf. And that's what they did, because LIV was not working, but the PGA caved anyway because their commissioner is what you just saw, which is not an actual leader. Not an actual leader of anything.
Dan, it wasn't working, but they don't care. They don't define it by whether or not they make money or not. It worked perfectly. Like what LIV was doing worked perfectly
just to threaten a coward, just to threaten somebody.
It's exactly their plan, Dan. So you're looking at this as a rational P&L person, like you're the CEO of an actual company that wants to make a profit. That's not what Saudi Arabia is interested in. That's not what this fund. They can allocate trillions of dollars and not worry about return on investment. They have a much bigger plan in mind, and that plan is to make us believe that they are okay. And we've talked about sports washing for months and months, if not years. It's all been planned out. These are not idiots, folks. These are people who have a plan, and they're executing it, and golf is merely a first step. You're going to see, and you said it early on in the live show today, that you may see investment in leagues. You're going to see it. The NBA now allows sovereign funds to invest in teams, but no team's done it. I'll bet you $1 right now, and I'm not a reporter. I have no breaking news. Way to go, Mikey. There will be sovereign funds investing in NBA teams, and it's going to be announced soon because these owners need money. Even the billionaire owners here in the United States need money for what they're doing with their teams. So this is just starting.
The Miami Heat is run by Carnival Cruise Lines. In the middle of the pandemic, the cruises took an enormous hit, and pretty quietly, I think 10% of Carnival Cruise Lines went to Saudi Arabian money in the middle of the desperation of all that. I'm curious, David, and walk me through a piece of this here. You just mentioned that they bought golf and that's just the beginning. But this kind of thing that had the equivalent of slaves dying to build stadiums for the World Cup, they already bought the World Cup, right? It's not necessarily this fund, but it's the same sort of spirit of, with our bonesaw blood money, we will buy all of your golfers, all of your soccer players, all of your sports until Saudi Arabia is a world power with America, because the oil they make is forever valuable until we've destroyed the entire earth because we're so greedy about wanting it.
Real doomsday scenario.
I mean, we are selling these people. We are selling these people the livable climate, not just our souls, not just our sports and our souls, but also the air we will breathe in 10 years when everybody else has the money and we don't have air to breathe.
I'm not saying you're wrong. And normally I find you to be too alarmist, and I don't want to live my life assuming that it's the end of the world.
He's scary.
He gave away our air, yeah.
But in this truth,
I need air.
You're actually right. I think both of us will be dead by then because we're old. But
no,
I'm
it's
not
coming
sure
sooner than you guys think. It's already happening.
Our death?
The oil buying the livable atmosphere. Did you not see the monsoon Stugotz drove in yesterday? He feared for his life. Oil is going to kill Stugotz. His greed to get to the oil is going to kill him.
It might be the heaters.
No way.
That is, smoking cigarettes
just
around
marketing,
oil
Stu,
is
don't
how
you
it would
worry.
end for Stugotz.
It's having a heater while you're at deep impact at the edge of the ocean and the big type tsunami is coming over you and you get one last drag.
That's how it's going to end for Stugotz. Laughing like that, smoking a cigarette as a wave engulfs him.
David, how you doing, brother? Good to see you.
It's good to see you, Juju.
What's the most adorable thing you've done this week?
Wow.
Huh, good question.
I actually agreed to a Father's Day dinner with two of my kids, not on Father's Day because they had other plans. And I thought it was adorable of me to say that I will adjust my weekend and to not see any kids on Father's Day and do a midweek drive back and forth for 5 hours to have a dinner. And I thought it was adorable, except some people who I told thought it was pathetic, but I'm going with adorable.
Yeah. Yes, sir. You are absolutely 100% adorable, and I appreciate you, brother.